let's talk about the defense. I think Jarace Walker is going to be the best defender in this class outside of Victor. I think he's versatile. I think he can defend every position. I don't see what he can't do and what he doesn't project to do at an elite level on defense.
Corey, I think for me, I won't argue with you on any of that. I think for me, like where I fell deeper in love with him actually was more with like the details about him on the defense. Like he cares so much about small things, which makes him so special to me because you can have raw talent and ability, but attention to detail is something that you don't always find with someone his age. This Houston team loves a trap. And to see the amount of trust that Coach Sampson puts into Jarace Walker to not necessarily like clean everything up, but he trusts him so much to be in the right places and doing the right things. Like, okay, yeah, here, look, unbelievable stuff here. Look at the hands, the anticipation, and the finish, right? But Corey, one of the things that I loved about him was the stuff that he's doing off ball, on the weak side, on closeouts, right? As a low man, like it's unbelievable how detail oriented this guy can be. I was watching like 15 possessions in a row of him just closing out on shooters. Like it was incredible. And you know, in college basketball, Corey, you're not always going to go against a guard that can make that weak side skip pass every single time. But there were a couple times where he was on defense and the guard would make that and he would have to run out to the shooter and he was just perfect. Like him just understanding that I don't have to overcommit because I'm gigantic and I have long arms and I have really mobile feet. Watching him close out on guys was like art. It was incredible to watch.
Well, you know what's funny? I think that's something that he's focused on improving through the year, because I think at the beginning of the year when they played Alabama, you remember he sat a lot of the end of the game, and it's because he made that repeated mistake on those closeouts. Like he took the offensive player's space, and this was the first one where he fouls a 3-point shooter, and it's like it could go either way, right? Like whatever. It's not like the best call. But he clearly he put the ref in the position where he gave the offensive player a chance, and he did that late in the game. I think with like 8 minutes left to go in the game, I think he sat like the majority of that time. So I think that was a point of emphasis for him on improving, because like that's what happens when you have a good coach. Like, oh, you're a 5-star prospect? I don't give a shit. You got stuff to work on. You're not perfect. And that's why him going to Houston and being put in a position to get the kind of coaching that he has, to take that coaching in and to be selfless and work towards a championship, right? Like that's what is so special about Jarace as an individual, because like you said, he could have gone to some school and just got shots up and played for nothing, but he's trying to be a special player. And you mentioned so many different things just there of what makes him intriguing. I mean, he as a defender can really do it all, and he is he's the most important guy. You know, like that is a big aspect of defense. It is a huge part of Houston's defense and the way that they play. You need to have the MIG under the rim in the right spot to clean up the mess when the guards are, you know, forcing you a certain way. And I think this is a really good, you know, example of him just being able to come over and just clean shit up. Like he's got his head on a swivel. He's in position. He's touching Hendricks, and then he comes over for the help. Give me that shit. Right? Like that's a big time play. And, you know, he doesn't have like monstrous counting stat block numbers, but he's got a great block percentage, a great steal percentage. Like he's just always going. He's on go all the time.
No, I 100% agree, man. And like, I don't know. And Corey, I did want to follow up with what you said. Like, yeah, you're right. It is something that he worked on, but like it just recently he's been fantastic at it.
Yeah.
And I've just been so happy with that growth. And when we were talking about offense, I mentioned the Wichita State game, because in that game he was going against, I think his name was Reyes or something, but dude, Jarace was giving him an absolute like migraine just defensively. He was bodying him up, was so active with his hands, was forcing that guy off his spot every single time. And he looked miserable. I remember one of the shots, that guy had the ball at like the high post, and just Jarace was all up in his shit. And he forced him to take this ugly shot. And like as soon as he missed it, like he knew he missed it because the defense was so good. And he like tried to like bump Jarace, but Jarace like just completely disregarded it and ran down the court for offense. And I was just like, man, like Walker is going to be that guy. Like he's just going to annoy people because he's just so competent at so many different things on the defensive side of the ball. Like guys are going to go up against him, be like, why is he staying in front of me? And like, why can I not dribble around him? And how come I can't get my shot up? Like, look at this stuff, man. And that's on Brandon Miller, a guy that we're really, really high on in this draft as well. But look at this. Look at his feet staying in front of him.
Yep. Just beats him to the spot and then draws him right to the help, right? Like,
Exactly.
like he's pushing him to the left. He's icing that guy and helps there. Now, happens that quick.
Coach Tibbs would be really proud of him, right?
And then, I think to show his versatility in this game, because that's on Brandon Miller, a big wing, a guy who you could, obviously like Jarace is like twice as strong as Brandon Miller is, but height-wise, they're very similar. This is on Jaden Bradley. Like he's on an island with Jaden Bradley. He's moving with him, staying with him, and
staying down. Look at that. Didn't
like
foul.
He gets low, just making it hard, forcing a tough shot. Like, you don't get a stock, you don't get or anything like that, but that is just good defense on a point guard, right? Like him being able to legitimately stay in front of all different kinds of players is what makes him so versatile. And of course, like, is he going to be able to guard Jokic on an island for a full game? No, but clearly nobody is. So like, why even concern yourself with that? You need to scheme guard a guy like Jokic. He's not going to guard Embiid on an island. You need to scheme for Embiid, just like you can't guard Jason Tatum one-on-one and, live to tell another tale. You have to scheme for these guys. But can you get a guy to buy into the scheme, right? Can you get a guy to be willing to body up a guy like, Embiid? And like, if Jarace gets switched onto him, he'll body him up. He's going to give effort. It's not always going to go well. Look, at the Temple game that we just went to, they got a big boy, this dude named Reynolds. He's a very large human being. He's got pretty good touch. He bodied Jarace, in the paint, turned over the left shoulder, hit a little hook. And it went in. But Jarace made it tough. Like, he got a good contest. Sometimes guys are going to score. But, for me, like, it's just like, how many mistakes are these guys going to make? Are they... do they have the feel on that side of the ball, the understanding of rotations and where they're supposed to be in their shell, in their scheme, in their structure? I think Jarace absolutely has that to go along with the physical tools, along with the athleticism, the instincts. I just think the guy is going to be special.
I think a lot of people are going to misevaluate him because of the situation that he's in. And I know we say that a lot, but I think this is especially true for Jarace Walker. And I want to say, once again, and you've mentioned this a million times already on this pod, we're not trying to say that he was in a bad situation. It's just that the situation that he was in was more about his development and him playing on a winning team in a winning culture for a winning coach. And yeah, that meant that he didn't have all the freedom in the world to flash everything that he wanted to flash, but he's going to walk away from his freshman year at Houston having learned a lot, having grown a lot, having developed in areas where maybe he wasn't the strongest. So I think considering all that, a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, but he's kind of limited in this. He didn't show off a lot of this. And I think very easily our rebuttal is going to be like, for sure, he probably didn't have those freedoms, but wait till he's given the freedom. And with the development that he's shown in year one in Houston, we're talking about a terrifying player once again. So I'm with you, man.